I'm still having fun with this displacement map method, and I make this little drawers, which is pretty low poly. I think I've got a subdivision surface on the top and the bottom, but the rest is a cylinder or a circle, and this is all just displacement. So it's going to depend on the placement of your lights, whether or not it'll look, you know, really 3D or not. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to cycles and make sure my screencast keys are on, and let's change this guy over to a sun. Give it a bit of size and give it a bit of strength so we can see what we're doing. I'll take that in the camera and I'll move into another layer. I'll delete that and Shift A, mesh circle. I don't know, 20 by 20. Look from the top. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I think I want to take those scale-wise 0. So we have a bit of a curve, but take the whole thing and scale it in the Y. And do that, and now when I think about it, I think I do need to take these guys, and maybe not that one. Give it a bit of thickness. Let's try scaling this in the X a little bit. You could go with that, maybe. I'll try it. Be a little bit too rounded. Flip the polys. Probably work with that. This doesn't seem that deep though, the more I think about it. Maybe like that, I don't know. That's probably alright. Well, yeah, whatever. Let's go with that. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, what am I gonna do? Shift D and P will break it out maybe. And let's hit E and S and scale it in. Scale that in the Y too, just a bit even. And then I'm gonna grid fill that. And then I'm going to extrude it up, flip polys, and in face selection I'm going to select all those, go E and Alt S. Yeah, so here's where I think I need. I'll do that, and then I'll put edge loops in, not there. We'll come up and we'll come down. I'll take the whole thing and just put it like that. So that'll be the basic geometry. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is on the back here, that one, I'm going to Control E and mark seam. All right, I'm going to select it all. Let's come over here and go into the UV image editor, and I'm just gonna try unwrap like that. We're going to export this, and let's make a new one. This video 2, I'll call it. And let's call this SciLab desk cabinet UV. Okay, so to do this we're going to draw, and I'm going to come over to Flash. You can do this in GIMP or Photoshop. I like to do it in Flash, but any drawing program will probably work. I'm going to import that UV. I can find it. There it is. Make sure it's all centered up. Alright, so this is what we have. Okay, and what I want to do is make some drawers, and it's going to be a little bit weird to figure out where they go, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, so I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to I think we got the little one, the next one, and then we start getting that. So let's see if I do that. Yeah, okay, all right. Let's try that. Now let's be a bit more exact. Okay. Hit copy, edit, paste in place. So we got that. I'm going to try a stroke around each of these, 1.5 light gray. And I think we'll go ahead and try that and see what we get. So I'm going to export this. And we'll call this cabinet lines. Cabinet lines. Okay, so here's in GIMP. I'm going to open that up. There it is. So you could have drawn that in GIMP if that's your thing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to blur this. Gaussian blur. I'm just going to use default of 1.5 file. I'm going to overwrite that. Now let's switch over to the node editor. Now I'm doing this in a separate file than my earlier SciLab desk. I'm going to bring them together, I think. All right, let's go out and make sure that both of my layers are on so that I can see that. I think I'm going to be moving this though. Let's just see what that's like. Yeah, okay, I can see it a bit better. That's fine. Just want to be able to see that. And here we go. I'm going to click New for Material. And I'm going to switch this to the principled. For now, I'm just going to drop that down. Okay, I'm going to copy that and Shift S, texture, image texture. Switch this to non-color data. And then for this, I'm going to open up what we just made, lines. I'm going to copy this over and convert this to a color ramp. Can I color to there? And this to there. And I'm going to go Control T on there. Now, okay, cool. We're starting to see something here. What we want to do though is I'm going to mess with these. And I believe I'm going to invert them like that. And there. And as I do that, you start to see the stroke coming through. I'm going to make this a lighter color. And then it's just really all up to you in terms of the placement of these handles. See that? That's kind of nice. It's very sensitive. Let's bring this a little bit closer. See what we get a little further away. I think what we're going to need to do on this body here is we are going to add a subdivision surface just like that. Okay. And yeah, so we're starting to get the effect we want, but let's go back now and create another layer, and I can bring in that UV again. I just want to have another look at that. And I think what we need to do is I think we need to make these wider. That could be all right. We could just give that a try. I feel like making it even a bit wider. I wonder if I could have different size drawers. I think I may have affected the stroke too. Nah, you know what? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to make these biggish. And I'm going to just copy them down by eye. A little bit close. Let's try that. Let's get rid of the UVs. We'll just see. Okay, I'm going to overwrite that. Come back to GIMP. Open up that. Create a layer. Blur that. And overwrite. Let's check it. Okay, we have a little bit of overlap in the stroke. Is it possible to clean that up? I don't know. Almost, but I think it's more worth separating them out a tiny bit. What if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? How much room do I have at the bottom? Got a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just see if that's enough. Move the whole thing up if I need to. It just takes a little bit of manipulation. Getting there. Okay, now I'm going to take this with almost white, I think. No, I think I want it rounded. 10. Let's see if I do that. I think it's centered in the door, in the drawer, I mean. I don't think it quite is. So, yeah, let me try that. What's this? The drawers. Okay. So you might be thinking, well, shouldn't the light colors, generally be up and the dark colors down? It just depends on the node editor here and the position of these in the color ramp. That's why white happens to be depressed and darker colors are up. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's perfect or anything, but, that's a start for that kind of thing. Just wondering if I took it at this point. Oh, by the way, this isn't updating because I'll just do this. Okay, now it looks more like the diagram. I just wanted to know if I could. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Scale this in the X a little bit, and how that would affect my everything. So again, it's pretty easy to change. What else have I got on here? It's the drawers, really, eh? You mess around with this, and all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this and Control C to copy it. I'm going to come back to my desk here. I'm going to go to another layer though, and I'm going to Control V to paste it. I'm going to move it out to the side though. I'm going to call this part 2. I don't want to overwrite my original just in case. I'll scale this down a bit. With the desk, I'm going to look in front view. I think I'm going to scale this down relative to the desk. And even more. Let's look from camera view and bring this out. Let's have a look at this. Just all that's different is the color here. Let's go with the hex is CACBE7. CACBE7, I think that was it. There we go. I really don't have any material on this, but let's save that and let's go ahead and give it a render. All right, well, I think it looks cute. I probably could use some separation here. Maybe either not as much blur or no blur at all, and have these a little bit straighter. So let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna go back to Flash. Those are the handles. Okay, those are the drawers. Before we do anything, let's throw that UV grid back on. Okay, so I think we understand. Well, do we understand where our? Let's look at the previous render. Yeah, we're coming out close enough to the sides. I don't want to go out any further than this. And so just have a look at it. So we're looking at the space from the bottom and the separation. So maybe maybe we do need to make these a little bit narrower. Get rid of that one. Nah, that's not what I want to do. Let's go with that and see. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, well, let's try. Let's try this. Set that out there. And yeah, over in GIMP, let's try no blur. All right, we'll just put the background, in which case you could really do that in Flash, just to put the gray background there, but let's try this. Get out of there, back at the camera view. Okay, let's not go with camera view, let's just have a close look at this. Alright, so that's interesting. It's not what I want. Let's come up here, filter. I mean, what if we did something smaller, 1.6 or 0.6 for both? And you can also look at the size of the stroke too. There's a little bit of a blur. All right, let's do this then. Just keep our eyes on that, and come over here and see what we can do. I think I like the blur because that gives it a little bit of gradation so that the height varies a bit more. So I think what I'll do is I will over here, let's see if I can undo that, filter, reshow. Yeah, no, we just really don't want that. I'm gonna go back to my usual. I may have blurred it twice there. Let's find out. There's my lines, there are my lines. Coming through. You just go till you get an effect that you like. I like that. Well, you get the idea, though. I get Control B if I just want to render that area. Yeah, again, it's trial and error till you get the effect that you really, really want. Control Alt B to get rid of that. May have messed a couple things up with my blurring, so actually I think I'm going to come back to here. Let's just for the fun of it see what happens if I put a bigger stroke on there. I'll put 2 instead of 1.5 for all of these. Okay, I haven't used white, I've used light gray, just it's less extreme. And we'll come in here. And we'll take this and we'll just filter repeat this one time. Then again, it might be a little bit too much, I don't know. So see, it's a wide. Yeah, so I don't want it. I don't want that. So we're gonna try. Let's try 1. It's very easy to change. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not, you know, in the mesh. So it's not like destructive, I guess you would say. I didn't even do anything there. It's moving too quick. All right. Well, you get the idea. Start to see that. And then I'm bringing in this, sharpen it up. Let's Control up arrow and Control B. Let's try just rendering that. Well, it's not bad overall anyhow. Okay, so I'll just hit full render and we'll check that out. All right, well, I may have made it a little bit worse by mucking around with it, but it just takes time to get what you want. And then, of course, once again, the way the light hits it will determine how much it looks like it protrudes or recedes. But that's not a bad position for that. So somewhat matches the theme here. So there's other things I want to do, but I'm just having fun with this displacement method and seeing what it's like. So thanks again for watching.